The civil rights era in the 1950s and 60s triggered a return for many Black Americans to hairstyles that celebrated their African heritage.
This was a way for folks in the Black community to celebrate their Blackness rather than try to assimilate or hide it.
Hey guys, welcome back. So if you've ever watched one of my black hair videos and thought, okay, why is she talking about black hair again? Well, stay right here, because the real answer isn't because it's trending, it's not because it gets views, and it's definitely not because it's just hair. It's because black hair is one of the few things on this planet that people have tried to control, criticize, copy, police, profit from, and still erase the origin all at the same time. And once you see that pattern, you cannot unsee it. And if you leave this video too early, you're going to miss the exact reason that I keep returning to this topic. Now, this is the part that connects the beauty supply politics, good hair myth, protective styles, wigs and weaves, workplace discrimination, yes, that still exists, trend theft, and the quiet emotional weight Black women carry all in one thread.
For years, Black women have used synthetic braids to help style their hair. But a recent study by Consumer Reports found that these fake hair strands can contain dangerous chemicals that pose a health threat.
So yes, this is about black hair, but it's also about history. It's about power. It's about identity. It's about money, respectability, survival, and ownership. And by the end, you are going to understand why this series exists and why I'm not going to let it go. So black hair is never just hair. It's a record book. So let's start with the truth. Now, for Black people, hair has always been more than an appearance. It's been a language, a map, a signal, a statement, and sometimes even a target. And what makes that important is this. When a society tries to control a group, it often starts with the most visible parts of that group: their skin, their speech, their bodies, and their hair. So when you see rules about black hair, jokes about black hair, policies about black hair, and professional standards about black hair, you're not watching a style. You're watching a conversation. You are watching a power conversation. So what I'd like you to do is pay attention to who gets to be creative with hair and who gets called unprofessional, because the history is constantly being rewritten. Black women are expected to forget. There's also a reason I do so much content on the history of black hair, because so many of the styles that people call new or viral are just recycled. They're renamed and they're repackaged versions of what Black women have been doing for generations. The frustrating part isn't even the copying, it's the credit laundering. It's when the origin disappears, the culture gets stripped out, and suddenly it becomes a fresh trend once it's worn on someone else. That's why I tell these stories, because if we don't document it, someone else will, and they will get the credit and the check. The next time you see a new hair trend, ask yourself, who did it first and who is making money from it right now? Black hair still sits at the center of beauty industry economics. A lot of people don't realize that black hair is not just cultural, it's commercial. It's a multi-billion-dollar ecosystem that includes beauty supply stores, manufacturers, distributors, salons, and braiders. Let's not forget about the wig makers, hair extension companies, influencers, and brand deals. And the everyday Black woman is funding it all. When I talk about black hair, I'm also talking about how money moves, who owns what, who controls supply chains, who gets access, who gets gatekept, and who gets exploited. Well, Black women, again, are one of the most influential consumer groups in beauty, yet we're often treated like the last group that deserves ownership in the very categories that we drive. And once you see that imbalance, you start asking better questions. Not just what hair should I buy, but why is it set up like this? Well, if you've ever wondered why certain products are pushed on us, priced a certain way, or hard to access, there's a reason. and it's not accidental. Now, there is emotional history attached to black hair that many people don't respect. So let's talk about the emotional side, because this is where it gets real. Black hair carries memories. Being a little girl and hearing what hair is good, or being told what your natural texture is too much, or being praised when your hair looks more acceptable, being punished, teased, or overlooked when it doesn't.
By the 17th century, enslaved Africans would be forced to shave their heads, censoring their identity. Only some were allowed to braid their hair. Then in the 20th century, as African Americans gained their freedom and status, some chose Eurocentric hairstyles, which meant flattening their hair and its natural curls.
So for a lot of us, hair is tied to self-esteem, femininity, desirability, and belonging. And that's why I don't treat it like a shallow topic, because even when you just think that you're picking a style, you may be responding to a lifetime of messaging and not even realize it. So if you've ever changed your hair before a job interview, a date, or a family event, you already understand this topic more than you think. Everything in between is where the real story lives. And when I say everything in between, I mean the layers that people skip. The way that natural hair movements rise and fall depending on the social climate, the way that protective styles are celebrated on some people and punished on others, the way wigs and weaves can be both freedom and pressure, the way hair is tied to age, class, religion, and region, as well as identity. The way hair becomes political even when you are not trying to make it political. Black hair is a living archive, and every time we try to simplify it, we lose the truth. So yes, my channel has a lot of black hair content, because black hair is the one topic that touches beauty, business, culture, history, trauma, pride, resistance, and everyday life all at once. And I'm not interested in surface level conversations. I'm interested in the stuff that people feel but don't always have the ability to say out loud. If you've ever felt judged for how you wear your hair, this series is for you. This series is about reclaiming the narrative, not just sharing opinions. The Black Hair Narratives isn't just me talking, it's me building a record. It's about making sure that Black women don't have to keep explaining themselves or ourselves in circles while the world benefits from our influence. It's about creating a space where we can say, this is ours, this is what it meant, this is what it cost, this is what they tried to take. And this is how we kept going anyway. Because when you control the narrative, you control the value. And that's what this channel is really doing. Video by video, topic by topic, and story by story.
When folks gained their freedom from enslavement, they chose to wear Eurocentric hairstyles as a means of safety for a lot of reasons. Assimilating to whiteness or Eurocentric standards of beauty could mean a job.
When people ask why my channel has so much content about black hair and the history of it, here's my answer. It's because black hair is a story people keep trying to finish without us, and I'm not letting that happen. If you've been watching this series, then you already know every topic connects, and if you are new here, just understand this. You didn't land on a hair channel. You landed in a conversation about hair, identity, culture, and power, told through the eyes of one thing Black women have always had to defend: ourselves. Thank you again for stopping by the Occasional Commentary. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if this video brought any value. And if you could, share it with those that you think might need to hear this conversation.
New report is raising concerns about popular synthetic hair used in braided styles.
Now, this Consumer Report is coming out and saying that there are carcinogens within the braiding hair, right? Which is the antithesis of what many Black women are trying to do in the promotion of their hair health. It has the ability to impact the natural hair movement and the hair industry quite a bit.